Taylor, congratulations. Fiery match start to finish. We'll get to it all. Can you fill us in on the conversation you were having with Yelena out there?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's competition. People get upset when they lose, and you can't. Some people say bad things. She told me I have no class, I have no education, and to see what happens when we get outside the U.S. So I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I beat her in Canada outside the U.S. I beat her in New York outside the U.S. So let's see what else she has to say.
So I don't know what's in the air in 2025, but it seems like to be the year of just bitter tennis players. First, of course, we've had the bitter comments from Aryna Sabalenka during the French Open final, which I already made a video about. And now it seems like we just got some bitter comments from Yelena Ostapenko. Now, after the match, there seemed to have been a back and forth, a little bit of an altercation between Yelena and Taylor. And while talking with the reporters, Taylor did say that Yelena told her that she had no class, that she had no education, and to basically see what happens when she steps outside the United States.
Taylor, congratulations. For a lot of black people, hearing no education, no class would be interpreted, and rightfully so, as a dog whistle. Do you believe that that had racial undertones? And for black people and black women who will hear about this and may have dealt with certain situations where they've had comments where they've interpreted it as more than just competition, what would you say to them?
So that's a two-part question. First, no, I don't know. I can't speak on what her intentions were. I can only speak on how I handled the situation. And how I handled it is someone who's upset about the outcome that occurred. You lost, and you're upset about that. Saying I have no education and no class, I don't really take that personally because I know that it's so far from the truth and so far from anything. And again, if I allow what other people have to say about me affect me in that way, then they win. So ultimately, no, I stood up for myself, and I kept in my mind in that moment how I wanted to portray myself and how I wanted to show up. And if my son were to see this interaction, how would he view it? And I think he would be proud of the way that I handled the situation. I'm very strong. I'm very proud as a black woman being out here representing myself and representing us in our culture. And I make sure that I do everything that I can to be the best representation possible every time that I step on the court and even off the court. So I can't speak on how she felt about it. That's something that you're going to have to ask her. I didn't take it in that way. But also, you know, that has been a stigma in our community of, you know, being not educated and all the things when it's the furthest thing from the truth. And the thing that I'm the most proud of is that I let my racket talk. Because ultimately, I'm the one here sitting in front of you guys, moving on to the next round, getting the next check, moving on, being able to still be here and speak to you guys. And that's what's the most important. She's packed up and she's gone. I'm here. And that's the only thing that matters. So whether it had racial undertones or not, that's something that she could speak on. But the only thing that I'm worried about right now is continuing to move forward through this tournament. I know that I'm a fantastic tennis player, and I know that I have a lot of things that I want to accomplish. And this is another stepping stone. It's another brick that I'm laying on my foundation, or on my road to greatness, you know. And so ultimately, you know, whatever it is that it is, I don't take any offense to it, but I'm really proud of the way that I handle myself. And, you know, more than anything, if my son sees that, I know that he'll be proud of me as well.
I just want to know two things. One, Yelena, why are you so bitter? Like, have you not learned from Sabalenka during the French Open final? Like, just take the L and move on. Like, there's no reason to go over and attack someone like this because you lost. Like, just take the L. And two, the fact that you told someone that they have no class and no education and to see what happens when you step outside the United States, it's kind of giving a little bit of a threat. Like, if I were the reporters, I would want to ask Yelena, like, what do you mean exactly by those statements? Like, what exactly did you mean by that? Either way, I just think Yelena is an absolute sore loser, and congratulations to Taylor for moving on in the U.S. Open. What do you think?
Racism, projection. Those are two things that I see at play here. Racism, because this woman who probably is not exposed to people of color is carrying this stereotype about black women being uneducated or classless. And then projection, Like, she clearly demonstrated that she has no idea what she's talking about when it comes to Townsend, when Townsend being uneducated or classless, when she indeed showed how educated she was, and very classy woman. If you ever hear Townsend speak, you can tell clearly that she's very educated and she maintains her class through and through. I can't say the same for Ostapenko. So I see those two things at play, with being racist and also projecting her feelings inside onto someone else in terms of the way she feels uneducated and classless herself.
Oh, so SpongeBob SquarePants, who lives in a pineapple under the sea and got her ass whooped on the tennis court the other day, decided to tell that little girl that she had no class and no education. Now, here's my thing. It is deplorable. It is reprehensible. What I want us to remember, that when they go low, we're in a season of going to the earth's core, bitch. Collectively, I'm going to meet you at the magma. Because when they asked her, was that a racist dog whistle? She said, no, I don't know. It's not the truth about me, representing my people. And I love that for you, sister. I do, because somebody taught you that and you were raised well. But me, I was raised to nuck if you buck. Crime mob hoe. I don't have that respectability politic up on me. I'm off that narcotic. Been off it. So the idea that you could do something wholly and disrespectfully racist, and I don't say that, is a foreign concept to me. Meanwhile, they have literal advertisements for ICE that are openly racist right now. They are building an all-white town. The National Guard is being deployed as Trump's own personal paramilitary troops. So the idea that in our faces they would be able to play like this and we would take the high road is unconscionable to me. No, ma'am. No, I got the spirit of Harriet on me. I have the shotgun on my back. And she said, if you think about turning back, don't forget, ho, I got the shotgun on my back.
Yelena Ostapenko has no idea what she's about to go through, because the Shade Room just posted her heated exchange after her U.S. Open match with Taylor Townsend, in which she told Taylor that she had no class and no education and to wait to see what happens when they get outside of the U.S. For context, this all started when Taylor hit a net cord, and if you don't watch tennis, a net cord is basically when you hit the ball and it clips the net. This can cause the ball to bounce awkwardly in a way that makes it more difficult for your opponent to reach it. It can go a lot of different ways. It's basically kind of like a lucky break depending on how the ball bounces. So when people win a point where there's a net cord, they usually give like a sorry hand gesture as sort of like a courtesy to their opponent, but it is in no way a rule or a requirement of the game. Some people do it, some people don't. So when Taylor hit the net court and she won the point, she did not apologize. And you could see Yelena stay at the net, kind of like waiting for an apology. And it was at that point that she first called Taylor uneducated. After the match, when they went to shake hands, that's when Yelena started saying all that stuff I said. And Taylor basically told her, you need to learn how to take a loss better. I haven't seen it for Yelena ever since she got them Senegalese twists and turned all the comments off on her Instagram. Because, girl, what are we doing? And speaking of comments, people are already acting a fool under all of Yelena's posts. They're even on her cooking page, giving her the blues. And this whole Shade Room posting thing is only going to make it worse. But girl, you made your bed. But I have to say, Taylor did exactly what needed to be done in her response. You can watch her full press conference on the U.S. Open YouTube. But this bottom part right here, she said, the thing that I'm most proud of is I let my racket talk. Because ultimately, I'm the one sitting in front of you guys, moving on to the next round, getting the next check, moving on, being able to sit here and speak to you guys. And that's what's most important. She's packed up and she's gone. I'm here, and that's the only thing that matters. And that's on period. Ultimately, Taylor chalked it up to a competition and just Yelena being upset that she lost. And that really is what it is. Like, this is not an issue that you really need to suppress this hard. Let me know what you think in the comments.
Oh, and to the loser who told Taylor Thompson that she has no education, no class, and to wait to see what happens outside the USA, we all outside. What's up? What's up? You need that? Do you want that? Because we'll give you that. Y'all cannot stand to lose to a black woman. It just fucks with your whole entire ego to lose to a black woman. Why don't you get in the field? Go to school.
Get your education because you clearly don't know what to do with that racket. Like Nicki Minaj said, it's not cool to be a loser. Go to school. Figure out what to do because clearly you don't know. The minute a black woman supersedes y'all immediately tag education in class. I know your ancestors tried to keep us uneducated, but unfortunately, that's not the case. We're the most educated. Do your research. That lady that lost Coco Golf tried to do the same exact shit. Now, why don't you go look at their film, student, and learn from the teacher? Maybe you won't be a loser. Good morning.
Telling somebody on the tennis court that they have no class or education, that's a dog whistle. Saying that you're going to, I don't know, they better watch out when they leave the U.S. feels like a threat, which is crazy because Taylor's better than me because she obviously showed class due to the fact that she didn't beat the shit out of that little girl. She's educated enough to understand the optics of what it would be if she beat the shit out of that little girl. And if she was caught outside of the U.S., no one would be able to see her beat the shit out of that little girl. Taylor, you did a great job. I'm really proud of you. Can't wait to see your next match.
When I say I'm super proud of how Taylor handled herself after that match with, I don't know if her name is Helena, Jelena, whatever. How she handled that match with her and she won and she went to go shake her hand and the girl has the audacity to call her uneducated and classless. What? You just lost. And this ain't your first time losing against her. This is a many times of you losing against her. But it's also crazy that you're known for being a sore loser. You're known for that. Like, if anything, get your weight up, come back and try to win against her. But to talk trash and you lost? Like, you gotta be so butthurt to call a person uneducated for a tennis match. What does my education have to do with this current tennis match that you couldn't beat me in? You couldn't win. But it shows your character. It shows that you're a sore loser. And that's all that you've been hearing about that girl, is that she's a sore loser. I'm so proud of how Taylor handled herself. She spoke up. She didn't even use the race card and say that old girl intent was racist. She said, I don't know what her intent was, but I know she lost. And we all know that. You lost real bad. You looked real bad. They need to give you some coaching skills on how not to be a sore loser. It's one thing to talk trash when y'all are playing or whatever the case, but after you done lost, girl, you ain't got no...
Congratulations, Arena Sabalenka. The heat is finally off you, girl. You can sleep easy now because, man, I love the US Open because even though the time zones are very challenging, I wake up every morning with no idea what I missed. I mean, it could be anything from an upset to, you know, any kind of crash out, but nothing prepared me for today's crash out or last night's crash out, depending on where you are in the world. Because my word, Yelena Ostapenko, I don't know what's wrong with you, girl. Like, you need to calm down. And you know what? I'm not really a fan of either Yelena Ostapenko or Taylor Townsend, but I was really glad to see how Taylor kept her cool and kind of just let Yelena have this whole crash out from losing. Now, in terms of the post-match crash out after the handshake, you know, calling Taylor Townsend uneducated, it's a weird direction to go in when you're having an argument with another tennis player, because I'm assuming they all kind of have the same level of education at that point, which is like high school. Okay. And it's interesting because Taylor actually handled herself really well in the press conference where she was like, I don't know if what she said was racially charged. You're going to have to ask her. And she was talking about how proud she was, the way she handled herself, and how she let the tennis racket do all the talking, and how she thought about how her son would react if he saw this later in his life. And I think that's really powerful and really classy of her to have that stance and not to kind of steer into what the press was saying and how they wanted her to come onto, you know, a public forum and say Yelena Ostapenko is a racist.
Hi, what's up, my good people? I'm your lovely host, Beryl. Thank you so much for staying tuned to our channel. So today we are looking into the video compilation that I just showed you of a white woman who couldn't handle losing to a black woman. Her true colors actually came out, and you can see on that video compilation of exactly how she behaved after a black queen was able to win and just defeat her. So when the spotlight is actually turned on, that is when her true colors were revealed. So a white woman faced with the reality of losing to a black woman just couldn't handle it. And now the reaction's shocking, but also it's telling. You get me? So what started as a competition quickly became a moment of truth. The room expected grace, but instead we witnessed frustration, anger, and the kind of reaction that says more than words ever could. It wasn't just about losing, guys. It was about who she lost to. And that's where the story is getting deeper. So moments like this expose the tension that still runs through society. A simple loss turned into something bigger. A reminder of the biases and insecurities that too often go unspoken until they erupt right before our eyes. So the question is, why is it still so hard for some people to accept a black woman's victory? Why can't success be celebrated no matter who earns it? Whether black, whether brown, whether white. Why? Like, what is the problem? So this wasn't just a reaction, guys. This was a revolution. It was a glimpse of what happens when privilege is challenged and when equality puts everyone on the same playing field. So, guys, what do you think? Was this just raw emotions, or do we need to call it what it really is? Guys, drop your thoughts below because this is a conversation worth having. And if you want more bold stories, please subscribe to my channel. We're almost there. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your time. Just remember that this is something that people would not agree to, because why would you react like that because somebody is black? What if they are white? Could you have said those words? She uttered some very, very harsh words to the girl who won, to the queen who won. Remember, I still have it stuck in my mind. Being told that you are uneducated, that can be described in so many ways. So many ways. Somebody telling me that, I'd really take offense excessively. Excessively. Yes, and it's very unfair to our black queen who won. And guys, please, let's stop this behavior, whether you are MAGA or FAFO. Whether you're Republican or not, it is high time you know that color is just color. Okay? You don't have to insult someone that they are educated and educated because of your loss. Come on, style up. Thank you so much, guys. Please subscribe. Have a great time. Bye.